Hi everyone, Gianni Di Poce here with you for TheoTRADE, and today is Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025. It's the eve before Christmas Eve. Markets are going to be closed early tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern and then closed entirely on Christmas Day, which is Thursday. But this means that we are on the verge of the infamous Santa Claus rally period. It's going to be starting tomorrow after the closing bell, and it goes into the first two trading days of 2025. Now, this period really isn't the strongest historically. It just, it's kind of trended in that direction to the upside, uh, you know, enough times to make people observe it. But what we have going on now is the S&P continuous contract just hit a new all-time high. But since we're only about a week or two into the March contract in futures, you can see here that the March contract still has not made a new all-time high in the S&P. However, if you look at the S&P cash index, we are on the verge of the highest daily close in history today, assuming that we can close above 69.01. And being a big fan of closing prices, that's what I'm going to be looking for the most today. Now, there still are some problems in this tape. This does appear like late cycle price action. I do think there's a possibility, a strong probability for that matter, that stocks will hit a new all-time high, especially in the S&P 500 and especially in the Dow. The Dow futures are pretty close to new highs as well. But I still have some concerns about the Nasdaq. And so we can look at the March contract here as well. So the Nasdaq, struggling to really maintain leadership. You'll have a day here and a day there where the Nasdaq is up more than the S&P and the Dow, and that's all fine and dandy. But the fact that the Nasdaq has not hit a new all-time high since the end of October is a bit of a warning sign. And when the indices are hitting new all-time highs, but the Nasdaq is not doing so first, it tells you that, hey, you know, it might not be time to play defense right now, but the time to play defense is coming soon. And I've been using the analogy like, hey, it's fourth down in this football game. We're going for it. And there's a chance that the offense might convert, but if they don't, then the defense is on the sideline waiting to get put in. And that's kind of where we are in this market right now. Now, you are seeing semiconductors have a pretty good day. The SOX index is up about 0.5%. SMH is up a little bit more, and that's largely because NVIDIA, which, by the way, we do have a long position here in the TheoTRADE Made chat room. NVIDIA is having a pretty strong day, up about 2.5%. And again, this is, a market moving stock. This is a really good sign. We've been long for a couple of weeks. So I'm not, saying that we need to head for the exits now. We just need to be prepared to head to the exit if we get that final signal, which has not come yet. So there's some cracks in this rally. The market, was up for pretty much 6 months. It's been really choppy, really, since, end of September, beginning of October. But seeing this play out in NVIDIA is a really good sign. But I do have to give a lot of credit to Micron last week, which really saved, I would argue, this market rally, because up until Thursday last week, bears were asserting themselves in the tape. And we finally saw a semiconductor name. We finally saw a technology name in Micron have that big post-earnings gap, and that really shifted the mood. That really brought some confidence back into the Nasdaq, into the tech space. So that's what I'm watching right now. I need to see some more leadership come through in tech. But last week, the top performing sector in the market was consumer discretionary, consumer cyclicals. Why is the market directing so much money into the retail sector? And yes, I know XLY has a very high weighting towards Tesla, which, by the way, hit a new all-time high yesterday. I am long Tesla. I am bullish Tesla. It also has a large weighting into Amazon, which, by the way, guys, I think is totally justified. Amazon sees like 8 to 10% of daily retail volume in the United States. It's a huge bellwether stock for the consumer. But that's not where it ends, because you look at, the equal weight consumer discretionary ETF, that's on the verge of a new all-time high as well. Not quite, but it's getting close. But you look at individual retail stocks like Victoria's Secret, stocks like Gap, stocks like Kohl's. Okay, these are all retailers that have come back to life. American Eagle, right? The Sydney Sweeney phenomenon. A lot of these have hit multi-year highs. So my question that I've been posing is, why would the market be directing so much money into the consumer discretionary sector if the consumer was about to be weakening, if things were about to get so bad? The answer is I don't think they are. I think things are actually about to improve, and crude oil fits into this situation as well. So crude oil has been rallying for a few days here, but I wouldn't get too excited about it on the bullish side of things just yet. In fact, I think crude oil could be forming another important high in just a couple of weeks here, and then begin a descent down into the $35, $45 area. Now, I do think that a drop into the $35, $45 area would lead to a very important long-term cyclical bottom. And that would kind of spell the end for the consumer recovery case. But right now, we got to enjoy it as it's playing out. So I'm bearish on crude oil. I've been bearish on crude oil. Bond prices have been drifting lower. We had some really good economic data come in this morning. Inflation showing signs of stability. GDP growth coming in above estimates. Consumer expenditures higher than expected. But the caveat, the catch on that is a lot of it's going toward insurance increases. So again, it creates the illusion that consumers are spending more. No, they don't really have a choice if they want to stay insured. But, bonds here, I am looking for a steady downward drift into the month of January. And then this kind of creates that backdrop for a bit of volatility. Ideally for me in the first quarter for stocks, I would love to see bonds bottom out sometime, early and mid January, start a bid, flight to safety, safe haven type of trade playing out. And you're at that point in the final stages of the stock market rally. So again, it comes back down to whether the Nasdaq can hit a new all-time high here. If it does, this rally's got some more legs. We might get a blow-off rally at that point, a pretty strong rally. Then be right back to where we started the year by sometime in March, April, or May. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to interest rates and crude oil. Obviously, some big price action in precious metals. Gold hitting another new all-time high. Silver hit a new all-time high once again here today, getting close to $72 per ounce. And I have to say, coming into 2025, I was very bullish on metals, but this has even exceeded my expectations. In fact, we just booked profits today in the TheoTRADE live room on Hecla Mining, booked a 30% gain on this stock after it hit our upside target of 21. So where do we stand now? Well, mining stocks really aren't participating as much as you would think, given how gold and silver have been breaking out here. So I would love to see some sideways action, maybe even a short pullback, kind of reset everything. I do think that gold can get close to 5,000 in 2026. Again, that's not really that much higher from current levels. Silver, $80, $82 an ounce. I don't think this is going to be the hottest market in 2026. I think we've pulled forward a lot of those returns because of how powerful these trends have been. I think they'll continue higher, to be clear, but the percentage gains won't be anywhere like what we've seen in 2025. Of course, there's crypto as well. Bitcoin down today, but off the lows of the day. Trying, as hard as it can to form that secondary high or low. We'll see how we finish out. Again, we know there's more liquidity coming into the picture next year. I actually think that a market pullback, 10 to 15% in stocks would actually help liquidity levels increase even more. And I think that's going to help crypto. So, crypto didn't have a good year in 2025. I'm not expecting that to repeat in 2026. You might see some volatility to start 2026, but I think crypto is going to be in for one hell of a year in 2026. So I would be making those types of preparations right now. So, this begs the question, like, well, where does this leave a company like MicroStrategy, which is absolutely imploding? Really bad price action here. You could see this drop to like 110, 120 before it's all said and done. Meanwhile, you have names like Hut, which just, don't seem to really care about what's going on in crypto. And that really speaks a lot, I think, to the strength in this individual stock. It is a position that we have over in the $1 million challenge portfolio. So that's looking pretty good. But I'm also keeping a close watch on biotech. Still, we had some nice rebounds in some names yesterday. The Trinity trade positions in ARQT as well as MBX, which we have nice comfortable gains. ARQT up just under 80%, MBX up around 50% from our entry. You hit new highs there, completed higher lows. This is bullish price action. I don't think the story's over on these either, but these were names that were picked up in the Trinity terminal. So I think that, going into 2026, a tool that you may want to have at your disposal, as we see here, the S&P 500 keeps, trying to make new all-time highs. So again, the good news is that chips are starting to outperform on the day. They're kind of like neck and neck with the S&P, at least when you compare the stocks. It is up a little bit more, but what I would be looking for into the end of this week, because again, markets shortened trading day tomorrow, closed on Thursday, so we really only have basically like a day and a half left in this week. Is can the Nasdaq close at the highs of the week, and can it reassume leadership for more than just a day, or two? I want to see the Nasdaq really just blow it out of the water and hit a new all-time high. We hit that, then we should rally into January. As the saying goes, as goes January, as goes the year. But I'm still looking for some volatility at some point in that first quarter. So for now, we're going to enjoy it on the bullish side, and then there will come a time to play defense. But for now, the trend is your friend. And so that's what we got going on. Everyone, I would also encourage you to check out Don's Zero DTE presentation that he had today. Don DTE, we're calling it. Did a lot of myth busting on how to use zero DTE options and how to trade those properly, because it's a really powerful tool if you know how to use it. So I would encourage you to check that out. And that's all I have for today, everyone. So wishing you all a Merry Christmas, and I'll be back before the new year. So enjoy the break, enjoy the holiday, and we'll see you same time, same place next week, and hopefully in the TheoTRADE chat room before then. Take care, everyone.